All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome back. So, in this episode, I'm gonna be talking about the peak week. All right, peak week is shrouded in mystery, right? A lot of people think that it's some magical, super scientific, doctorate level stuff, but it's very simple, right? And that's what I want to talk about today, because a lot of people will take a 20-week prep and just blow it by trying to do some secret squirrel hack magic. The bottom line is, if you're not ready 7 to 10 days out, you're not gonna get a magic pill to solve all your problems. It's not gonna take a 70% physique and make it 100% physique, right? So 7 to 10 days out, you should already be stage lean, because when you start working into the show, all you're doing is manipulating water, sodium, and carbs to try to refine the look. You're not trying to reinvent the look. You can't reinvent the look. There are some people that are gifted enough to present a whole new physique in a 7-day period. Mostly people that are on drugs. But if you're not, you have to have a structured approach to this, right? So 7 to 10 days out, you should be still working at the same pace. Yeah, just to dive straight into it. Yeah, you should be working at around the same pace that you were all through the prep. You're not trying to get tricky. You're still eating the same, still doing cardio the same. You still want to keep your stress low. You don't want to start manipulating any water, sodium, or anything like that until about 4 to 5 days out. This is for a safe, natural peak, right? So the safest peak, in my opinion, is the front load. So you not front load, but the progressive load, right? So the back load is essentially where you load all your carbs into the backside of the peak, and you come in full as possible in the last 2 days. So I think a linear progressive peak is the safest way for a natural bodybuilder to go into a show, and that's just progressively adding carbs, progressively manipulating carbs and water into the show, instead of trying to dump carbs all on the back end, which is what a lot of enhanced athletes do. So if you want a safe bet, go with the linear progressive load. All right. And then when you're going into this peak, right, your water and sodium, this is where a lot of people ruin the entire peak. Like the aggressive cuts in sodium, the aggressive cuts in water, unnecessary last minute, like sodium loading. These things are just going to ruin the entire peak process. I've personally had people try to add foods that they hadn't even taken throughout the prep. It makes literally no sense. Like, we do good at prejudging, and then I get on the video with the client, and he's smacking down some oats, no water, just oats. I'm like, hey. And then like he had center at prejudging, came back for finals, ends up getting second, because he's trying to manipulate with things that you haven't done. So rule of thumb, if you haven't done it all through the prep, like a food source, a carb source, don't try to bring in anything that you haven't tried before in peak week. It's not going to drastically change your body. It can only hurt. Generally, it can only hurt. So the same carb source that you had in prep, use the same ones. The same fats, the same proteins. Use the same ones. Don't try to come out of the bag with some miraculous carb source like oats or something like this. It'll ruin everything that you put on the table, right? Generally, I like to stick with rice, sweet potato, cream of rice, and potatoes, right? You just generally want to keep it consistent. That's how you know what you're building towards. You know this works because you've done it all the way throughout prep. So now I just want to kind of get into the training. So early in the week, you want on a slightly reduced volume, just to lower inflammation in the body. You don't want to overstress the body at a time where you're trying to come in your cleanest, because you start holding. That inflammation and that cortisol is going to make you hold a little bit more. It's going to slow that digestion down. You're going to hold a little bit more fat than you would in a stress-free environment. So you want to lower stress, slightly maybe lower the cardio as you progress. But you don't want to cut all cardio out. If you've been aggressive with it, keep it semi-aggressive all the way up. You don't just quit cardio. Training intensity stays high, but you're not trying to overly max out, because if you're truly shredded, it could cause injury, right? Or at a minimum, it's going to cause that cortisol to stay high and the inflammation to stay high. So not trying to max out, just trying to keep decent intensity on your sets here. Not trying to get super sore. You want to be kind of doing pump up type workouts leading in to the show here. And then your cardio, you don't go from 60 minutes to 0, right? You gradually decline going into the show. For me, I like to tell my dudes to maintain the step count, right? And then digestion and sleep. Like I said, the cortisol is low, the digestion is going to be on point, the stress is going to be down, and going to make sure you get good sleep throughout. And then on show day, like I said, don't try to recreate something that you haven't done before. Keep it simple, predictable, small meals of things that you've already eaten before. So if you ate rice the whole time, eat rice. If you ate sweet potato the whole time, eat sweet potato. Don't go crazy with manipulating your salt, water, or carbs, right? Do things that you've done before. And then when you actually about to go on stage, the thing a lot of people do is they'll go in and they'll do this crazy pump up and go absolutely insane backstage. And by the time you get on stage, you done burnt out all that glycogen, burnt up all the carbs that you loaded your body with. So don't get to pump it up too early. You got to time it. You got to time it out, because by the time you get on stage, you could be flat, and the next guy that wasn't just blowing it all in the standing in the line, he's going to come out on stage, and that's when all of his carbs are going to hit, and you're going to look flat, and his other guy's going to look vascular and carved up. So you gotta really time it out. You can't be back there pumping up for 40 minutes, you know. Just keep it simple. And then I want to hit on stage presence as well. When you get out on that stage, it's going to show, like, if you've been just lifting weights or you've been actually practicing posing. Like, the posing is an insane amount of the scoring. I'm telling you. Anybody could say something different, but I'm telling you, you could go in there looking like God's gift to men's physique, but if you pose bad, you're not getting nothing. Nobody wants a champion that can't pose. I'm telling you. You'd rather take a guy that's slightly, maybe not as big, maybe not as shredded or whatever, but if he poses well, he's a good representation. You got to think of it like that. You're trying to be a champion. You're not just trying to be on stage. So it's a show. At the end of the day, you got to go out there and pose well, pose with confidence, breathe, smile. If you have a good smile, everybody's not meant to smile, right? If you want to be serious, whatever, but just look like you're having fun, look like you're respecting the game, and hit poses with confidence. But with that being said, you have to have practiced these things. You just can't work out, get shredded, do all these things for 20 weeks and come out there and think you're gonna win something without good posing. Another thing is making sure those trunks fit. Like, the first time you put on your trunks shouldn't be the show day, and your trunks are loose and all this other stuff. You're blowing it. You did 20 weeks, got in the best shape of your life. Now you're posing bad and your trunks are big. So, and you'll lose. And I don't care if you're 3% body fat. If your trunks look like crap and you haven't spent time on your tanning, you haven't spent time on your posing, you're done. It doesn't matter how shredded you look, right? So it's a presentation at the end of the day, because they got to put you on flyers, they got to promote you. So that's my little take on it. I'm not going to try to give out all the sauce as far as peaking protocols or anything like that, but if anybody's looking to get into their first show, I would love to coach you. I'll help you turn pro. I've turned many dudes pro. A lot of them in our first attempt with the natural bodybuilding. So yeah, and I can help with posing. You don't have to outsource posing. I can help you with. I'll do your cardio, nutrition, of course, posing. It's a one-stop shop over here for men's physique natural competitors, right? So let me know, like, what is your biggest concern going into peak week, or what you need answered the most going into peak week. So if you got questions or concerns, leave them in the comments. I would love to help whoever. But this is just my take on peak week without trying to give away just everything. But if you guys got questions or you want me to make another video talking about it, I will. So I want to see y'all get active in the comments, and I'll bring it to you. All right. Thank y'all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.